Go live. Okay. Welcome everyone to our Tongren session. And I'm just taking some notes. For those people that are here the first time, hopefully Grace is here. This is a distance healing technique called Tongren. And all you have to do is just sit and relax. Ideally, put your palms face up on your lap, feet flat on the floor. And that's it. But also put in your request on our page on our website, anusarwellness.com/weekly, and a lot of people have done it. And let me get a quick message. To someone to make sure we get in. Okay, and I just want to try to get everybody in. Okay, there we go. So what we do is we have our requests. I want to begin right away. We have a lot of requests today, probably about 50 to 75 requests. Grace. Okay. So for this one, Grace, just go to the website itself. And let's check on our first one. As I say, my name is Joseph Lucier. I've been doing this about 25 years, well, maybe 30 now. And we do it as basically a service so that people all over the planet can get a free boost, a mini boost of Tongren therapy. A lot of times in my other time, let me just ask. Okay, so let me go back to Instagram, make sure I get everything correct. Paused. All right. So we do our Tongren therapy, a 3-part process. And I think that's a different Grace, actually. So put in the chat on anusarwellness.com/weekly or go to our page on YouTube. Looks like only YouTube is working at the moment. Okay, so Momashari should be working now. So let's begin with our first request. And we do a 3-part process. We use these tools just as a way to focus our mind. It's not about these tools, but this does make it easier to have our focus. And as we know from the perspective of intention, we want to send healing energy to other people. And Mumashari, let me know if you're working on, it's working on Instagram at the moment. We do a 3-part process, which is kind of a tune-up for everyone. And we'll work for Grace and Gartor. Who has a tear in the medial meniscus of both knees. Definitely work with Chinese medicine. I would not recommend surgery. You can do it through massage therapy and Chinese medicine, but especially after talking today, I would not recommend knee surgery. late Alzheimer's disease, there are things you can do like methylene blue and silica. Alzheimer's is oftentimes caused by aluminum toxicity in the brain. Silica is in many ways an antidote for that. And it says here specifically, nitric oxide taking up oxygen receptors in red blood cell, slowing metabolism. The remedy for that is red light therapy to release that, because it's actually even on the mitochondrial level that happens. And red light therapy is an antidote for that, like near infrared therapy. So, brachial plexus for the arms and right ribs pain, T1 to T8. This is our map based upon science and bioelectricity. Targets. We open a blockage. That's what we do. And hello, Momashari. Good to see you. Posterior horn, body, and anterior horn of the medial meniscus of both knees. Red light therapy also for Alzheimer's. There are red light therapies. They're kind of like thick belts that you can put on the head to go deep into the brain. Those are used and have had success for Alzheimer's and even ALS. So red light therapy, sunlight gazing, Gartor. Sunlight, sunrise. So we have another person requesting for ALS, but let's make sure we hit all the ribs. The right rib pain for Grace, T1 to T12, and T1 to T8 for anti-inflammation and pain. There's a great product called Delta 8. It is a CBD and menthol pain reliever. It would be very good, as well as even simply magnesium oil on those areas, because it will relax the muscles, which will relax the nerves and increase blood flow and nerve flow to the area. Did you get to chat in, Grace from Belize, by the way? Just put in your name just to let me know that you get in okay, because I can't go back to the other one right now, but I'm presuming you're here. Soaking up the chi. So we got a lot of people here today. So thank you for joining us, Grace. And I'm hoping the other Grace from Belize is also going to chime in, either through Instagram or through the website or through YouTube. So let's do some work on Alzheimer's and ALS for Edna's request. And then T1 to T8 for the meniscus tearing. Yarrow salve or DMSO clay poultices can help for the meniscus area as well to rebuild and help with the inflammation and injury and scar tissue. So if it were my knees, I would make a castor oil, DMSO, yarrow essential oil for the knees. and T1 to T12 for Gartor as well. And let's work on the ouch point of the knees themselves, medial meniscus of both knees. That means right next to the knees on the insides. And then also in a weak left hand, left foot drop. So we work on the bundles of nerves, the brachial plexus, and the lumbosacral plexus of the waist. T1 to T8, inflammation, and the vocal cords, C3, 4, and 5. And lungs, T3 for the lungs. Lung 1, lung 2 for the lungs also, and CV17. And grounding, but also the weak right ankle, so the blood flow and nerve flow, so T7 blood flow, and target point, right ankle. And last but not least, TV17 for vertigo. And then coming down to the thyroid, so sea vegetables, high iodine foods, even cranberries because they're in the ocean as well. Celtic salt or Himalayan salt, pink salt. T1, T5 for your granddaughter's heart. Prostate cancer spread to the bones for Radiant Pioneer. But first we do grounding, and then we do the superior inferior thyroid arteries as well. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. But let's take a quick look to see if anyone is on social media. Not yet. So we're ideally on 4, 5 places on social media. And that would be the goal. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and my website. So let's work for radiant power, Jim Dido, prostate cancer with spread to the bones. So for radiant power, are you doing any herbal therapies such as black salve or the advanced Essiac? Command points of the brain. And did you get a chance to chat in Grace from Belize? You just scroll down on anasarwellness.com/weekly. And we will continue. So first, brachial plexus for the right shoulder, which includes also T1 for the bones. So for people that are not familiar, you can do this technique with your hands. Toina, Chinese medicine, acupressure. You can do it with needles, and you can probably do it with electric needles as well. GV17 for high blood pressure. And diabetes, which is insulin resistance, so you want to eat foods that enhance insulin sensitivities. Or things that work with the GPC-1 and the GPL hormones, which interfere with insulin resistance functioning. Kidneys, L1, 2, and 3. Feet neuropathy, lumbosacral plexus. And dermatitis, T1 to T12. Including T4 for seborrheic dermatitis. Confident Gem, Tracy, good to hear from you. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1, which is grounding like Qigong or Qi. Okay, so for Tracy, kidneys, adrenal fatigue, sluggish bowels, and elimination, and hemorrhoids. So always the Tesla invented from the 1800s colon cleanse for sluggish bowels, and also some Tongren, more fiber, more hydration, blood flow to the brain command points, because that's where it all begins, like a computer processor. brachial plexus, so adrenal fatigue. So that's all a lot in the same area. L2, L1, 2, 3, kidneys and adrenals, L1 and 2. Hemorrhoids, Dr. Wheatgrass balm, the most concentrated one, will solve that problem for the hemorrhoids. Lumbosacral plexus for the bowels as well. And let me just do a quick check. And we'll just make sure that everybody's okay. Let's continue on. We have a temporary. Make sure we get everything correct. There we go. Instagram. What a great word. So let's continue on. L1, 2, and 3. Adrenal fatigue, sluggish bowels, lumbosacral plexus. And Happy Mama is next. So we do our 3-part process that we teach in our trainings. Blood flow to the brain, command points of the brain, and GB13 for right side for Laura. Balance, worry-free mind. Blood flow, nerve flow for the spine. So balance hormones for Laura, TV20, hypothalamus, pituitary. And for Sherry, T3 for the lungs. And for people here, are they familiar with leukemia for anyone? Is it possible to have a ALL leukemia, acute lymphocytic leukemia, basically go from 0 to 100 in presentation in a week, especially for a child? It seems odd to me. T1 for the bones, for perfect blood, bone marrow. T3 for the lymph. T1 to T8. Immune system for Sherry. Amashari. And also the bones, GB39. We'll do a complete lymph tune-up for everyone in just a moment. And abundance in Tong, third eye. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Some more GB13 right side for Laura. And let's do a complete lymph tune-up for everyone. Sky window lymph, axillary lymph, inguinal lymph. Above message from Ellen. What is the above message from Ellen? I don't see Ellen above there. I see Edna, Radiant Power, Confident Gem. Quickly, Quirky Gem. Okay. Oh, the above message is from Ellen. Okay, got it. I'm a little slow. Blood flow to the brain. Chris, tap for endometrial, peritoneal, lung, and liver cancer with ascites. So there is short-term and long-term recommendations for cancers. Short-term, Black Salve from First Nations in Nevada. Short-term and long-term, advanced SEAC tea. If you're up for it, there are also practitioners that recommend bendazole and ivermectin. Core things are alkaline diet, exercise, of course, hydration, colon cleansing. Those are the basics that would help everyone with cancer, especially a lot. Okay. Endometrial, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Low blood pressure, GB17. Low protein, not sure what that means. Small airway disease. Lung T3, liver T9, ascites, infrared light therapy for that, small airway disease, T3 and CV17, laser on CV17, post-nasal drip, a lot going on, that's not surprising. C3, 4, and 5 for the nasal areas as well. Qi Yan. That's what that is. Tumor and gallstones, I would recommend a DMSO, castor oil, clay kind of pack on the area for the gallbladder. Even just castor oil. So let's do it. Blood flow to the brain. So some basic techniques. Let's review. And nobody on Facebook yet. Blood flow to the brain, brain command points, because that's where it all begins. C3, C4, macular degeneration. There are specific macular degeneration herbs at Ethos Vision, ethosvision.com. I think it's .com or .net. It's based in the UK, but they also have branches in the US. They have a specific remedy for macular degeneration in two parts. One is for the eye drops, the other one is for actually the multi-herbal support, so I would recommend that. Neuropathy or maybe sciatic in yoga, you can do a modified pigeon pose for sciatic and neuropathy in the lower legs. Let me know what they say, the chiropractors. Oh, you order the eye vitamin, is that from Ethos Vision? A quick way to increase absorption, you're saying you don't have good absorption? Fermented foods. That would be a good first start. Number 2 would be a colon cleanse. Not so helpful if you're not absorbing, correct. But you can improve that. And T8, 9, and 10 for gallstones. C3, 4, and 5 for the eyes. And ouch point for the eyes for macular degeneration and everyone else. And Lyme infections, T1 to T8. And there is a sciatic point, GB30. This can help a lot. And the microbiome for better absorption. Numbers T11, T12, L4, L5. CV4 as well. Eyelids, springs, again ouch point, and blood flow to the eyes, facial artery. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Earthing and grounding from a quantum biology perspective, that is gathering electrons. Chinese medicine perspective, it is connecting with the earth, the heaven energy, earth energy, and in the middle is our energy. So that's the link, the 3-part process, the 3 realms, as they say in the Taoist philosophies. So blood flow to the brain, and we'll do a Hashimoto's tune-up, and lung health for excited character, and insomnia, GB13. So insomnia means your day shift, night shift rhythms are out of sync. You can reset that. Watching the sunrise sunlight will reset the day shift, night shift turnover process of your body. It will also help with your thyroid cancer, slow and swollen lymph nodes, because it resets the entire circadian rhythm of the body, and it will balance out hormones, which includes the thyroid. C6, C7 for Hashimoto's. And let me just check to see if and the advanced SEAC-T formula is on my website. And Rachel, lung health. Nothing else? Winning lottery ticket number? That's it. Okay, let's work on the lungs. We will in just a moment. And I'm going to do one more check. And let's get the people back on Instagram. Sorry about that, folks. And there you are. Instagram. So, hi, Grace. Say hello so I know. I think you just said yes, so that's a good thing. Working great. Thank you for checking in, Mama Shari. All good. And I will see you shortly afterwards. We'll be good to talk and catch up, and hopefully you get some pics. The advanced SEAC is on my website. So let's go. We have lots more requests. But the Hashimoto's tune-up, insomnia, GB13 right side. But let's do the hypothalamus, the home of the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is basically the interface between the sun and our bodies. Quite profound, quite amazing to reset the entire body. Watch the sun. Sun gazing, I do it every morning. Even if the sun is behind the clouds, it works. I naturally get up. My body just wakes up several minutes or 10 or 15 minutes before sunrise every day, naturally. Excited character, lung health. And for Rachel, lung health as well. T3. Lung 1, lung 2. And CV17 for lung health as well. C6, C7 for Hashimoto's and thyroid cancer. And swollen lymph nodes could just mean they're swollen because they're removing junk. To accelerate that, to help support that, would be castor oil on the lymph node areas as well as the spleen. That will clean out and accelerate the lymph node drainage. You could add a little bit of DMSO if that's something you're familiar with. So here we have unique individual. When you say vitamin D3 and B12 absorption, you mean you're taking B12, it's not working? Let me know. But let's do it. Unique individual. But let me check. Doesn't seem to be anything on Facebook or YouTube. I think it's working. Blood flow to the brain. But let's work on the lymph nodes. I'm presuming the axillary lymph of the armpits. To regenerate bones, you need collagen. To create collagen, you need the precursor silica, which is one of the best ways to regenerate bones, collagen, and tissues. And the best way to do that is from a scientifically proven, highly absorbable liquid silica from horsetail herbs. So, humerus bone, so nerve source, brachial plexus, down the arms to the radial nerves. Lots of massage for the radial nerve palsy. Castor oil, cayenne pepper, and red light therapy, infrared light therapy, because that goes deep to increase microcirculation for muscle atrophy. Brachial plexus for the hands. T11, T12 for vitamin D3 and B12 absorption. So let's work on both armpits, axillary lymph. One of the best ways to manage your cholesterol is, of course, reducing cholesterol from the diet. T1 to T8, autoimmune, knees, elbows, nose breathing through the nose. That's a good thing. So maybe you can give me clarification on what the problem is there. And digestion, microbiome. T1 to T4 for citizen, acne, emotional and hormone balance. GB13 for emotional balance. GB20, 22 for hormonal balance. And those are, of course, the emotions and the hormones are connected. So let's also work on the CV4, the gut, which produces hormones, happy hormones, for the brain. So you have a deficiency of B12 and D3. So the key is the quality of your B12 and D3, possibly. So there's a 3-part formula from globalhealing.com, which has better absorbable B12, which you must take sublingually by a tincture, ideally without alcohol necessary. Vitamin D3, the same. I would get the B12 and D3 from globalhealing.com. And maybe you could put in the chat here what kind you're taking it, how you're taking it, and what company. And then we can analyze further. So blood flow to the brain. And this name is Kind Stranger. Let's do a complete tune-up for your daughter who is 25 weeks pregnant. Healthy baby development. The hormones, CV20, 22, hypothalamus, pituitary, and for sleep in Tong. A good thing for the baby is to be grounding outside barefoot. Will be really good for the baby as well. The baby will respond to that, as well as, of course, healthy music. You're welcome, Joanna. So let's work on the entire spine for the baby as it's developing. C1 to S5. For babies, I'm sure as well for humans, we have 1 billion trillion transactions in our cells per second. So that's a lot. Ashika, overall growth, GV20, 22, muscles and brain, speech, Broca and Wernicke areas, which includes sentence making. And then T1 for the bones and leukemia. So Hannah Kreuger treated successfully 5,000 kids of leukemia with a technique, a massage bodywork technique, which I have learned from her students. T4 for the breasts. And detox from chemoradiation, DMSO is really good for that as well. DMSO is basically from trees, but must be treated with the utmost care. It is a concentrate. Right breast surgery, T1 to T8 for meds detox, and T9 liver for detox as well. Eat lots of sea vegetables for the chemoradiation as well, lots of iodine. Okay, so can we tap for a friend who is experiencing sciatic pain down both legs? So if you think of it, if it's on both legs, that means it's a higher source, which is the lower back, going to the lower source, go to the common element. Oh, okay, I see you, Grace, now. Great. And I got your message. So, lumbosacral plexus, legs to chest. You got to pull that area of the lower back open. And we'll talk Grace. I know this is pretty unusual stuff, but it works. And GB30 for the sciatic. That's really good. Body work is really good for quickly remedying sciatic pain. Works very well. I've done it quite a bit. For the people that don't know, my location has moved from Hanover to Dedham. And even some magnesium oil on the what they call the GB30, right in the gluteus area, right in the center there. Release the muscle, release the nerve. Because the muscle is squeezing, that's what causes the pain. And that's one of the biggest nerves in the body, coming right down there in the gluteus, the butt area. Okay. Mysterious Guru, you're welcome very much. Cod liver. Sunshine number 1 for vitamin D. Number 2, I would recommend the vitamin D sublingual tincture from globalhealing.com. I will get the vitamin B12 and D3 from them. If you want more help, yeah, the piriformis is the muscle that squeezes the nerve. That is correct, Radiant Pioneer. So that's why modified pigeon pose, which turns your leg and then you go forward, it pulls that muscle away from the nerve. Legs to chest, straight and to the sides, will also open up that sciatic area. But you also must especially open up the source of sciatic, because the lower back nerves are in separate, and then they go form one, the sciatic down the leg. So you got to address all of those areas. Piriformis muscle, and the piriformis muscle gets overacted because it's a small muscle, not to do a lot of work, but if the other muscles are weak, it takes over more work, and then it gets overwhelmed, and that can create sciatic as well. Blood flow to the brain. Let's work with, for Rachel, the lungs again. Detox from mold, T1 to T8. T4 for detox, T9 for detox. Clay is the best detox. I don't know if you've ever tried it. Sunny Gem. C3 for the lungs and T3 for the lungs. C3 for the sinuses, T3 for the lungs. Lung infection, a hydrocollator or herbal remedy called counterattack, an herbal antibiotic would be the way to go. Despair, GB30, 13 right side. And fermented foods and lots of high fiber foods. Believe it or not, that can help with your despair because that feeds the microbiome. The microbiome bacteria increase. They increase the production of happy hormones like serotonin and to reduce despair. That can all work like that. T1 to T8 for the infection. T3 for the lungs for Rachel. And Ferris, good to hear from you. Let's work right on the eyes. Any change? Better, worse? No change? So the advanced SEAC tea, the original formula was about 100 years ago, developed by the Ojibwe First Nations, tested through Harvard, through herbalists and holistic practitioners, enhanced and advanced with 4 other ingredients. So the advanced SEAC is 8 herbs. And if you have any questions on its usage, you don't necessarily have to titrate it or bring it up. Depending upon the severity of the condition will be the determination of the dosage. CV17 additional for the lungs for Rachel. And for Faris's mom, GV governing vessel 17 in the back, the medulla. C3 for the eyes. T5 for the heart, and this company here, Faris BH Herbal, has specific herbs for arrhythmia. And lumbosacral plexus for the constipation. Castor oil on that area will also help to accelerate relief from constipation. Colon cleansing, if she's up for that. Advanced colon cleansing. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So yes, the advanced SEAC, it's the only one that I've seen after many years of research that I actually recommend. And then Mystical Trailblazer. The other thing that may improve digestion, absorption, and elimination for anyone, digestive enzymes. That would be another possibility. Tap for cystitis. Castor oil, DMSO poultice. Pressure in the lower and the bladder, of course. Let's do that right away. S1 to S5. Lower back pain, it's related. T L1 to L5, S1 to S5, that whole area. full hard stomach, definitely work on digestive enzymes and fermented foods right away. And you can get rid of that cyst with castor oil packs or castor oil and DMSO packs. And let's work on the CV4 for the stomach and the bowel movements. Feminine organs, L3, CV4, and GB13 for the emotions. Challenging times, mystical trailblazer, but don't give up. One by one, release all of these things. All of the things that you mentioned are connected. So that chain of event can be broken. And let's continue on. Piriformis muscle deeper, modified pigeon pose. Okay, you live in Ohio. So the question is, Radiant Pioneer living in Ohio, can you show the Hana Kroeger massage technique for leukemia? I could, and I could send you a video for it as well. Hana Kroeger did a video herself. I think she was about 90, and this was in the 80s. So. Yes, so here's a message. There isn't a universal start to all cancers. Actually, to all cells and all organs in the womb, trophoblastic cells. They're inhibited by pancreatic enzymes, especially trypsin, chymotrypsin enzymes. So if that's what you're taking, that's great. They are basically a trigger. They originate in the womb, and they're a trigger when to stop things from growing. Whereas since cancer is a temporary organ, mimicking the a temporary tumor, temporary organ, mimicking the process of an organ in the body, in utero, it's the same thing to use the enzymes, but also to reverse the trigger for cancer, which is hypoxia. So if you could email me, Jim at emailboxhome.com, to make sure that I don't miss it. I'm going to put in my email address here. And what we could do, we could send you the videos, and then I could set up a consult. I do this by YouTube, by Zoom, to a clinic, administering the technique through my experience to help you as well. So that's another option. So trophoblastic cells makes a lot of sense. BH, no, it's called BH, Bravo Helicopter Herbal. BH, boy, happy, Bravo, Hilo, that kind of thing. So it looks like we are finishing right on time. And I'll do one more check for everyone. And we are all set. So we will now do a Qigong for everyone. So sit with your feet flat on the floor, palms face up, and relax, breathe through your nose. You can also recite the Ho'oponopono mantra, which is a 4-part process you can do for yourself and for others. Look up Ho'oponopono, a Hawaiian Polynesian healing remedy, and I'll say that for everyone here tonight. It goes in 4 parts. It's a mantra of humility. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you all. Thank you. And then at the end, we always do a closing to clear the space, fill the space with this tone instead of anything else. Okay, thank you very much for joining, and I will talk to you soon, Grace, and others I will be seeing later at different places and different times. Have a great day, be kind to one another, and blessings, and see you all next week. Take care.
And typical, but then you see these bands of very distinct cloud cover moving into the region. That is not rain, that is not snow. Believe it or not, military aircraft flying through the region is dropping chaff, small bits of aluminum. Sometimes it's made of plastic or even metallicized paper products, but it's used
Live, let's take a look.
Northern California. We've got a bit of an unusual situation. Now, this first portion of the radar cycle, fairly bland and typical, but then you see these bands of very distinct cloud cover moving into the region.
Free, which is awesome. Feels good not using a credit card. More debt free, which is awesome.
Third highest number of uninsured Americans in the country. Catastrophic. And so the Republican majority has looked at the state with the third highest number of uninsured Americans and said, that's what we want to model our Medicaid system after. This catastrophic failure in the dead of night at 2:38 in the morning.
That is AOC again, as she said, very late at night, pointing out what the GOP is doing. They're trying to kill Medicaid. And you know how sure the right is that this will be a popular move when they're doing the hearing at 2:38 in the morning, literally in the dead of night, trying to kill a wildly popular and necessary plan. But while I have a lot to say about this, let's let her explain first the scam that the GOP is running here to justify this disastrous change.
I understand that the Republican majority wants